let's move on to story number 2.
Story number 2 is fluke is still around and about. I've got 3 separate cases of fluke among many. The first one is occult resistance to triclabendazole likely. 350 mules had been on some wetland. They were housed on the 5th of January and given triclabendazole a week later. Now up here, that's not unreasonable because, you know, December time is not that out of the way for acute fluke. Anyway, they were given the triclabendazole a week later, so triclabendazole kills all life stages above 1 day old, so that should have been effective. But 10th of February, 4 ewes started looking very bad and died, and others looking poor as well. That should say triclabendazole resistance likely, because these were the livers that came in acute fluke despite the triclabendazole. Fluke story number 2 is 800 Swaledale ewes. This was from the west of the catchment. At scanning, they took the opportunity to dose them with closantel, and they made the call that the fluke would be old enough by the 3rd of January that closantel would be appropriate. So they were treated on the 3rd of January. Then 5-6 weeks went by, and there was acute fluke in 3 ewes, which suddenly looked bad and died. So this is a problem of not knowing exactly at what stage the fluke were. The closantel does not kill younger fluke, only kills fluke above 6 weeks old. So in that case, if anything, triclabendazole would have been more appropriate. So there were obviously younger fluke coming behind that were not killed by the closantel, and triclabendazole would have been more appropriate. And the way to find out...
Sorry, this could also be reinfection after treatment.
Yes, reinfection after treatment could easily be, yeah. And then fluke story 3 is this is just a case where an inappropriate wormer was used. Flukicide was wormed. This was a group of bought-in gimmer hogs put on some wetland in November, and they were given albendazole, because if you buy albendazole, it has a picture of the fluke on the side, and a double dose of albendazole kills fluke, doesn't it? Well, it only kills the adult fluke. So this was an inappropriate treatment by albendazole on the assumption that albendazole kills fluke. Well, it's more complicated than that. It only kills adult fluke. It did not kill the younger fluke, which then were free to carry on reproducing, and killed a couple of ewes on the 15th of January. So to reiterate, triclabendazole kills all stages of fluke above 1 day old, so it's appropriate for autumn. Closantel kills all stages of fluke above 6 weeks old, so it's appropriate for, you know, autumn, winter. Albendazole only kills adult flukes, so it's really appropriate only for when there are adult flukes only, which is really which is sort of now and onwards, really, basically.
Even later, Ben, if we've had acute fluke in January, we've got to wait 10 weeks before there'll be adults. So we're looking at after Easter.
After Easter, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Until you check.
That's it. The
last thing to remember, and the final message here today, is please, please, please test the silage for energy. This is a picture of a ew's abdomen, and you can see from the uterus there how much space these lambs take up in the abdomen. That is virtually, it's a good 3/4, virtually all of the abdomen taken up by lambs. What that means is there is much, much less rumen room, and what that means is there's much less room to for the bulk of poor quality silage. You just cannot get the energy in because there is not room if your silage is poor quality. So the absolute key is to analyze the silage. If you've got a silage of 10 ME, it's a totally different ball game to if you've got a silage of 12 ME. And it's not just clinical cases of twin lamb disease that you'll prevent. It's colostrum quality, it's condition, it's all these important things for optimal production. So if you know what the ME of your silage is, and the crude protein for that matter, but the ME, you will be much better off, and you'll be able to match the energy supply to the energy demand in late back end. And just have a good look at those lambs. Look at how much room those lambs are taking up, and how that means that they cannot squeeze in enough energy. So you need to give them an energy dense diet. And now's the time to start thinking about it.
Yeah, good advice. Quality counts when it comes to feeding sheep, and test, don't guess for the parasites.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ben.
Pleasure.